westernmost part of the African continent is Dakar, the capital and largest city of Senegal. Home to over 1 million people, it is closer to the United States than any other place on the continent. On the continent. A little over a mile off the coast of Dakar is Gorée Island, a short ferry ride for hundreds of thousands of visitors each year. Gorée Island is perhaps an unlikely tourist destination. A friendly place with beautiful streets and buildings, good food, arts and crafts, and a very unusual serenity all its own. But none of those things are why so many people come. From around the world, people of African descent return here, hoping to reconnect with their roots.
Gorée Island, it's one of the closest points to the United States, and that's why it was chosen.
It's impossible to trace the origins of traditional African healing in the New World, from folk remedies to voodoo, without starting here on Gorée Island. We were not able to bring the traditions and healing methods with us intact from the African continent during slavery. This remarkable animated map, created by Slate magazine, documents the enormity of the Atlantic slave trade. 20,528 voyages over more than 3 centuries. At that time, 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the New World. Over 2 million of those Africans died at sea. 10.5 million spent the rest of their lives in North America, in the Caribbean, Brazil, and elsewhere in South America as slaves. Eloy Coley is chief curator at this unlikely tourist attraction.
The famous slave house of Gorée Island.
The infamous House of Slaves on Gorée Island has become an international destination and a boon for the local economy. In truth, this is just the best known of many places along the west coast of Africa where terrified captives were imprisoned hundreds at a time for days and even weeks in these tiny cells.
They pat them like sardines.
All of that history, it's like you have to swallow it all at once when you walk into the door. It's gaggable because it's there, it's real.
Accompanying Kofi Kondwani and experiencing this for the first time are Aneva Hinson, his fiancée, and Kathy White, executive director of the Andrew J. Young Foundation.
It's such a small, dark place that for one person, it would have been hard.
You know, a lot of African Americans will say, I didn't leave nothing in Africa. But when you go there and you see where we were forced into before we left, I won't say unbelievable because it's right in my face. I could see it, I could feel it.
The biggest displacement in the history of human being.
This was the starting point of the destruction of the African family structure, the fragmentation of an entire culture.
So, father could be sent to Louisiana, mother to Brazil, children to Haiti or West Indies. The separation was total. And for the most of the kids, babies.
It's no surprise that strong, healthy young men, capable of hard manual labor, were highly valued. You may not know that one other category of slave was just as highly valued.
The price of a man was exactly the same with the price of a virgin girl. It corresponds to a barrel of rum or wine. But here, a famous cell for the young girls. They use this cell as a punishment for slaves.
I could smell the smell of us being in those places.
So if they cause trouble, this is where they go?
Yeah, because they consider captives, not as human beings, but as a simple merchandise.
Kofi Kondwani believes he would have been one of the countless troublemakers who died in this cell.
It's a shameful place.
And this is known as the door of no return. For those who survived captivity on Gorée Island, the final passage from their homeland. Men, women, and children were marched through the door of no return and onto a wooden bridge to board canoes that would take them further to sea and ships bound for the west.
This door symbolizes like deportation. So, you go.
I stood in the so-called door of no return for the last time in 2003.
That's not true. We did return.
Like Kofi Kandwani, I have been on Gorée Island more than once, but I felt or tried to feel nothing.
I mean, I refuse to react. I just, well, anger is negative emotion.
I did stop to sign a guest book at the House of Slaves in praise of those who suffered here, and through 300 years of slavery, we must pledge that their suffering must serve some purpose.
Standing in that doorway, looking at the sight that those that were enslaved saw. And now I'm standing there, strong, alive, pissed, but willing to help as best I can.
Helping as best he can to recover some of the lost secrets of African healing.
Traditional healers, so they took their knowledge from here to wherever they went.
Yes, because in Africa they use the same medicine.
Traditional medicine.
Traditional medicine.
Okay.
Natural healing.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just trying to understand how they held together that knowledge.
Yes,
after
it's
going
something
through
special
this.
which exists in African people.
It's a continuum. It's unbroken, even though at every step of the way we were enslaved.